All right, hello and welcome to Game On Girls July Hangout. I'm Regina McMenemy, or Doc Liv, and I'm here with almost our entire crew today. Pretty excited about this, so I'm sure we're going to have some great conversation. Everybody go ahead and say hello. Let's start with my co-host.
Hey, it's Rhonda Oglesby.
All right, and let's start with the newbies. Sean?
Hi, Sean Blaystone.
And Jerry?
Hi, I'm Gary. It's been a little while.
Yeah, and long-time fans and first people we had on the podcast originally as live guests, we have Mark.
Hello.
And Ryan.
Hello.
All right, and that's our crew for today. So we are going to start today's conversation talking about a con that Rhonda literally just got back from like a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I actually, as I was leaving, one of the last panels I had was about how to promote your podcast. And I was looking at all the panels. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a live Google Hangout tonight in a couple of hours. And they're like, oh, are you going to do it from your room? We were all just going to go upstairs to my room and do it. I didn't bring any equipment or anything. But it's like, no, I need to get back. I've got to go to work tomorrow. So yeah, I just everything's laying on the table. And
You literally like dropped your bag and
like in the TV,
and sat down and hopped on the Hangout.
It did have long enough to put on my stretchy pants.
Nice.
Big Bang Theory pajamas.
Nice.
So, yeah, gotta have stretchy pants.
Just like a true broadcast, you never know what they look like below the waist.
Nope.
Yep, that's true enough.
I'm wearing
But
shoes.
it was a great con. It's only the second one, and it is local to me, which is why I'm so happy about it, and I try to support it. The Fulbrights, and please forgive me, Tara, I know your name. I can't remember. I think your husband's name is David. James put on a really, really well-organized con.
You said that last year when you went too. That one of the biggest compliments you had for them was about their organization.
They are real pros, especially. I think it feels to me like when it comes to their guests, especially. My badge has my schedule on the back of it.
Oh man, that's nice.
Yeah, and they give you name placards, and then they print your schedule off in several different formats, and they have a guest room where they have some cookies and snacks, so you can go chill out and stuff like that. But it's still very small. I hope the word gets around because they're a good group, and they attract some very, very talented people in podcasting and writing. The emphasis seems to be in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of sci-fi writers and independent writers. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. There's their guest speaker. Couple people I want to do a shout out to. There he is, Timothy Zahn, and. Okay, that's a touch screen, and this one is not. You just see me at work going like this. What? It's not doing anything. That's crazy.
I will not admit how many times I have done that.
Michael Stackpole, they did a reading. They were literary guest of honors. The podcasters that I met today, that I invited them to join the show, but I had no idea how to tell them to join our Hangout, but hopefully we'll get them on sometime, are from Figures Sold Separately. Met Ken and Carly and Matt. They're an amazing producer, and Renee couldn't be with them, but apparently she's a queen of puns, and she likes to talk about, she's a feminist baker. I can't wait to find out more.
Yeah, me too.
So, but I was on several panels, and they were really well attended. The last panel I was on, I met an amazing woman, Karen McCullough, who I think a lot of women should use as a role model, as someone who came up in technology and engineering in the 50s and 60s, and she's one of our trailblazers.
Nice. Oh,
It was
that's
wonderful
awesome.
talking to her.
Well, we'd
Yeah.
love to hang out with her too. You should see
Yeah.
if she can come talk to us. That would be cool.
So, but anyway, I had a great time. I've got an article going up tomorrow about one of the panels I enjoyed doing quite a bit called Warrior Women.
Awesome. That's great. So now it's the other con is happening this weekend, right? That other con?
I don't know of any other con. Congregates the con.
Well, that's an endorsement, right?
And I'm not sure that other con is actually a con anymore either.
Yeah, I think that there could be a big argument for that, but I just wondered if there was any kind of buzz about being kind of at an independent or smaller con that's more sort of fan-based over,
No, the other con does not exist.
Excellent. No con envy here.
No. Yeah, there wasn't, nobody at this con brought it up.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, but it's tiny, and it's, not everybody can go to California.
No, I know. Yeah, well, no, not everybody can get tickets.
I'll never
anymore.
be able to do that.
Yeah. I used to think I wanted to go to San Diego, but kind of at this, I really like the cons we have closer to where I live, so.
Be a hell of a drive too.
Oh, it would be a hell of a drive. Yes, it would be. Yeah, it would be a long drive, and even a long, well, not a terribly long flight, but.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of LA. I'll just put that out there. All right. Well, speaking of cons, Jerry recently had an article about E3 on the site and was sort of the only one of our crew that followed the hubbub there. So, Jerry, why don't you go over and kind of give us a brief rundown of your coverage for E3?
Sure. I'm looking at the article right now just to kind of give myself some mental notes because I wrote it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
But I talked about 10 games that I really thought were impressive at the show, and then I talked about 5 moments / events / whatever I wanted to lump it under that I thought were really good things to come out of the show. So the games that I talked about was the latest Deus Ex game, Mankind Divided. I was really a big fan of the first one. It did have some issues, but on the whole, it was a really, really good game. And this one looks like it's going to be taking it to a higher level. They've got more augmentations, deeper gameplay options. There's more diversity in how you get through the levels. So it sounds like they've really taken a lot of the criticism from the first game and applied it to this second one. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, that's good.
This isn't it the third one?
It's actually the 4th.
Okay, that's what I thought. What did you think of the last one?
Human Revolution. I liked it a lot. It has some issues. There was some characterization issues that were pretty problematic with it, especially with Letitia. I don't know if any of you played Deus Ex Human Revolution and talked with Letitia, but she was the worst stereotype in any game I think I've ever played. It was really, really bad. You should Google it if you haven't seen it. So hopefully they've learned their lesson and won't do that again. But on the whole, I really liked the way that the game played. It was very smooth. It fixed a lot of the issues I had with the first Deus Ex, which was a really good game as well, but it had like inventory problems and stuff like that. But I really liked Human Revolution. I'm excited about this new one, so I hope that they follow through and really just bring everything about the series together that I like and not have any big problems.
Cool.
This next one might be a little bit more interesting to everybody else. The next one I wrote about was Fallout 4, which is the big announcement at E3, really. I liked Fallout 3, but I got kind of bored with it after a while because I just got tired of wandering around the same gray, brown, desolate landscape over and over and over again. But it looks like 4 is going to have more color, which I think is great. And it really looks like they're taking a lot of the stuff they did with Skyrim and applying it to the Fallout universe, as well as making customization a bigger element of the game. You can build your own settlements, which I think is really neat. the custom weapons is being expanded upon, and there's like all these different parts you can throw into guns and other types of weapons to make them really unique. And the fact that you can have a dog be an unkillable partner, I think, is also a great thing, because if there's one thing that's been terrible in Bethesda games, it's NPCs that you have to work with. So this should be a really good thing to have a dog that can't die, so you don't have to worry about it, and you can just do what you do and not have to fret over some silly AI partner doing stupid things and getting you in trouble and then dying.
I think that was actually one of the reasons why I didn't stick around with Dragon Age for very long, because I kept getting into a scuffle and having the NPC characters that were supposed to be assisting me not really assist very well. So
yeah, AI is something that is really hard to do, it seems, with like characters that are on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Immortality seems to be one of the ways Bethesda's tried to deal with it, and personally I think that's better than not. But we'll just have to see how far the dog actually works, because it can go fetch stuff for you, which I think is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very impressed with the Fallout 4 trailer. I thought, and especially when they showed the gameplay for like 20, 30 minutes at their conference, that was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm trying to remember, Mark, there was a game, was it Torchlight, that had pets you could send back?
Yeah. They
do inventory stuff with?
Yep. They had. Basically, it was when you made your character, you chose your pet type and kind of customized them, and
Right,
yeah,
and they could run back and sell your crap for you that you didn't need and all that kind of stuff.
And they helped you fight. And
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the only other time I think I've heard of that mechanic of the limited games that I know, but, you know, kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain if there's another one, but I can't think of it. I know like having dogs or other animals work with you, but maybe not to the degree of Torchlight. Like actually going to sell stuff for you is pretty neat. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a nice mechanic because, you know, when you were out in the map and your inventory was full and half of it was stuff you knew you were just going to junk at the bank as soon as you had a chance to, you could just send your pet back to do that and it would come back with your cash. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes backtracking is one of the worst things you have to do in a game when you have a full inventory. But being able to send something to go do that for you, and so you can keep going forward, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it was nice.
On top of that, the inventory management in general, I think, was really good. When you needed to switch things back and forth between your pet and what you're carrying, it was just a matter of, I think, control click or shift click. It just made it so easy.
Yeah, it was very intuitive and very quick.
Yep.
I'll have to give that a try one of these days. I have it sitting on my computer. I just haven't actually booted it up yet.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I enjoyed the combat style in that game too.
Okay. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So the next thing I went on to was Super Mario Maker, which made a big splash at the Nintendo World Championships because it was the final game that they played. I don't know if any of you guys watched that, but it was pretty amazing watching people run through the hellish levels that the Treehouse people came up with during the tournament, and watching the players' faces just go like... it was pretty great. The first level is actually on Game on Go right now, so you can check that out in my article on E3. Cool. But it's basically a level editor for Mario games that's official, so you can do a lot of stuff with it. It's very impressive. You can make wings onto anything, so you can have flying piranha plants. You can give them super mushrooms and make them large. You can put Koopa shells and stuff on your head for protection, so it gives you like an entirely new power-up. You can ride in the clown cars that Bowser had in Super Mario World. It's just like there's all these neat ideas that have never really been touched on in a 2D Mario that have been thrown in here, and you can make all these crazy things happen. You could stack enemies on top of each other, so you can have like 5 Goombas and then a Pokey on the top of it. So you have to try to get through the Goombas and avoid the Pokey and all this stuff. It's just crazy, crazy stuff, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. when I was a kid, I wanted to do Mario levels. I drew them out by hand, like all the time when I was a kid. So the opportunity to be able to do it in a real game and share it with people, I think, is going to be really neat.
That's really cool. That's actually Neverwinter had aspects like that where you could build your own levels and build your own maps and build your own creatures and pretty much do whatever you wanted to do with it. And I never actually played with that part of the game, but I thought it was really cool that they had it set up that way.
Well, one of the cool things about Mario in general is everybody usually likes to go back and play, the classic Super Mario game, but now they can actually do that and have a new experience with it. And not get bored by doing what they've already done 100 times.
Right.
They can download, like, say Mark could make a level for me that's going to drive me nuts, and send it to me.
To push buttons.
Yeah, he was there for those days.
That's awesome. Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. It's probably Nintendo's best bet in terms of a big thing this year. Their conference was a little flat, I will admit, but on the whole, I think that Super Mario Maker is what they're really hinging their bets on, and it looks like it's going to be a really big thing for the Wii U.
Cool. Awesome.
So the next thing I talked about is a new game in a new franchise called Horizon Zero Dawn. It's by the people who made the Killzone games for Sony, and it's a PS4 exclusive. But it's a really interesting looking game because it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, but it's not like Fallout at all. It's set like almost like the World Without Us type of situation where the nature has been regrowing and taking stuff back. And for some reason we disappeared, but there are still some people left that have gone back to kind of like the old ways, quote unquote. And they have to fight these mysterious robots that nobody knows where they came from, but they're basically the animals that are left on the planet. And the trailer shows a young woman running around and fighting one of these giant robots, and it's really impressive looking. And it's new. It's something that Sony's taking a gamble on completely. It's not an old franchise. It's something entirely new, starring a woman, doing really cool looking stuff. So I'm really excited about that one.
Cool.
I think that might be one of the games that gets me to buy PS4 down the road.
Aren't they also coming out with a new Mirror's Edge, or like a re-release, souped-up version? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a little bit, actually. Well, I could talk about it now because I don't have to go in order.
Yeah.
There is a new Mirror's Edge. It's kind of confusing how EA's marketing it because they're not calling it a reboot. They're not calling it a sequel. They're not calling it a prequel. It's like they're taking the character of Faith and expanding upon her is kind of how they're describing it. So it's set a little before, I guess. It's confusing. The PR is a little confusing about trying to follow all of this stuff. But it looks like it's taking the core gameplay of the original Mirror's Edge, which was like parkour, first-person jumping and running, and taking that to the next level. They've removed the guns altogether, so Faith will not be able to shoot anyone. You have to defeat them through combat, melee combat, running into them, doing acrobatic moves to defeat enemies. And you still have to do the same type of building jumping and wall running and stuff like that like in the other game. But it looks a lot better, and I hope that they can get the story up to par, because the story in the original game was certainly not a high point. It was certainly the gameplay that stood out in Mirror's Edge. So I'm pretty jazzed about that one too. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Cool. Jerry, I think what I'm going to do is have everybody kind of go back and check out the rest of your article so we can get on to maybe a couple of our other topics.
Not a problem.
Right.
Not a problem.
But thank you for checking out all the coverage for us, since I think you were the only person of us who got a chance to watch and take in E3.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a job at the moment since I've moved, so I had all the time in the world to do that. I didn't want it, but I had it, so.
Well, yeah.
Might as well.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely worth watching and checking out.
Okay.
Can
I say one more thing about my piece? I'll jump out of the games and talk about the one thing that I really wanted to hit in terms of the events of E3.
Sure.
is that women in general seem to be much more prominent at this E3. There were a lot more women on stage. Not as many as there probably should be, but there was a lot more women on stage. There were more women showing up in the videos, talking about their work, and there were a lot more women actually involved in the games themselves, like being characters that are important or playable, or even the main characters. And I thought that was a really good shift in terms of E3's past, because we've had some major issues over the last year or so with women in games. Not going to name anything, but
yeah, thanks.
I think at the end, I think the industry itself is making a statement. Maybe not as super strong as it could, but it certainly is a statement about that they want to be more inclusive. And I thought that was wonderful.
That's good news. And I had actually read that in a couple of different outlets as well. Other people who are doing coverage who are talking about definitely seeing a shift in representation. So it's good, because they should be catching up. A little bit more diversity is never a bad thing. So I'm going to shake up our agenda a little bit here, because we usually do a Geek and Tell. So in between like the rest of our topics, I'm going to have maybe somebody show their Geek and Tell. Anybody anxious to share what they have for Geek and Tell today?
I think you are.
Oh, yeah.
You showed it already off camera.
I did show it before we started, and I've tweeted about it a little bit. So this was my birthday present to myself, and so it's my new 3DS. So I got the classic controller one, and I'm paused on my Luigi's Mansion right now, where I spent a good portion of my day yesterday playing it. So, yeah. It's super fun. I'm really enjoying gaming again. How odd is that? Yay, yeah. And I was reflecting on that today as I was getting ready for the show, and I was thinking that a good part of that, I think, actually is the fact that I'm not playing this in an online format, that it's really just me sitting down and kind of hopping into a game and playing with little expectations and no sort of social expectations, which isn't a way I've gamed pretty much since I discovered MMOs or Steam. So it's been really fun to just kind of hop in and puzzle it out. And I'm not terribly far in the game, because I'm finding my completionist to be a little hyper, which I think is having my old school Nintendo kind of meet up with better gaming skills now. I'm like, oh, I'm going to replay this level. I've replayed like every level I've done at least twice, if not 3 times, to try to get as much as I can. So, a little mastery overload, maybe.
But that's all right.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes you have to have a little mastery in there, especially with Nintendo games, maybe to a degree for me. Anyway, so that's been my fun. What do we have next? We had Star Wars. We're going to talk about the behind-the-scenes footage of Star Wars. So who's excited for Star Wars? Anybody?
I am. I don't fully understand why, but it's
you're
happening.
Excited? Yeah. Ryan, you're a little excited about Star Wars?
A little bit excited, yeah. A little bit excited.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I think it's going to be good.
Rhonda, I think you're on mute again.
Oh, I need coffee. 3 days worth of coffee.
You have a backlog you need to make up for. I'm like looking at your face on the thing, and I'm like, oh, this animated face, and I'm like, no, boys, go with it.
It's very interesting that there's a huge fan base of Star Wars people at this congregate.
Mm-hmm.
They always have a fan guest of honor, and the fan guest of honor this time was Albin Johnson, who is one of the biggest Star Wars fans. He started the 501st Legion, and he's grown that, and he's been part of some of the Lucasfilm stuff and everything. But it's interesting to listen to the Star Wars fans. A lot of these guys are the hardcore that read all the books, and they're not particularly excited about the film.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. But I actually was wondering that because I had a friend of mine send me a link to an article, and I'm not gonna spoil what's in the article because it's potential spoilers all over the place. But it was essentially suggesting that with all the pieces of information that J.J. Abrams has released, including this behind-the-scenes footage, you can kind of piece together aspects of what's going on in the story, and that he's releasing them in terms of like a puzzle for people to put together. So there were some interesting theories in that article.
I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, it's actually I texted my friend back who sent it to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to look at this because I'm really, I like not knowing a lot about movies. Like, I had never watched the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy because everybody's like, oh, this is the best thing, and I wanted to be surprised about the movie when I went in, and I was, and I loved it. But I had to read this, and then I read, and I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. But I wondered. Oh, go ahead. Who was that?
I was just going to say, I think it's fair to say that it's not going to meet everybody's expectations.
No.
And you just kind of have to hope that, the writing's good, the movie was well shot and edited, and it stands on its own. I mean, you cannot. We saw what the disaster of the prequels were, to hardcore fans, and I hope that they use the legacy characters well in the movie. I don't think they're going to have a huge part. I think they're just going to kind of be there.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that that's a lot of what we're seeing so far is the legacy characters, and I think that's good, a good strategy, because for people like me who are not really, like, I love Star Wars, but I'm not a hardcore fan. I haven't read the books. I haven't, been in the universe like that. So, having those characters pop up in these pieces really makes me go, ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing this. So,
I think it'll be handled well. I think that J.J. Abrams is, one of us. He grew up watching those movies. I think he did well with the Star Trek reboot. And Kevin Smith, I don't know, probably about 6 months back or something like that, was invited to come and visit the set. And when he got back up, he basically, said, hey, I think this is in good hands. I think we're all of us who are Star Wars fans are going to be really happy. So
cool.
I think those people that aren't happy about it are people that have really gotten into the fiction outside of the movies. And it's like, well, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if it really bothers you that much, just imagine it's an alternate universe.
Yeah, well, and one of the things I really liked about that they were highlighting in the behind-the-scenes footage was that idea of not doing all the special effects digital, that they were doing some real special effects, and I think that that's going to be key to these movies being not what the prequels were, because I never really connected with those. I think partially because it was so reliant on the green screen stuff.
Speaking of not connecting, one thing I noticed with the prequel trilogy is that it seemed like the actors were really disconnected from the universe as well. You had actors who, in other movies, could give a really great performance, but then when they're sitting on a green screen set, they seem to just... It was a really hollow delivery by Natalie Portman, for example. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would say any scene that actually delivered lines, yeah. But I mean, the action scenes, when Obi-Wan and slipped my mind, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Yeah, no, Qui-Gon.
Oh, in the first one.
When they were, jumping over multiple platforms and stuff. I thought that played out really well. I think that was probably the best scene in all the movies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought the fight scene at the end of Revenge of the Sith between Anakin and Obi-Wan was pretty epic.
I don't like Hayden Christensen in that movie. I don't mind him as an actor, but I thought in that movie his acting was particularly
flat.
It seemed forced the whole time. Just like he was trying to be dramatic the whole time, and it just didn't play well, and it really took me out of it. Watching the movies.
Yeah, so. I think the actors in that had a really hard time because they were trying to fill iconic shoes.
Yeah.
Like, Alec Guinness. Hello, you're not going to be Alec Guinness. You're never going to have that kind of performance.
I think Ewan McGregor did a pretty good job.
I think he did all right. Yeah, but I still always felt like he was trying to mimic Alec Guinness's expressions, and there was too much influence from the previous performances, I thought, for him. But I agree with Sean that it felt hollow. That's a really good description of it. Like you get that sense of performing in a studio with nothing. It's kind of like the voices echoing off the walls.
Especially the second and third movies, there's a couple of scenes between Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen that are just awful. Like you see them and you're like,
God.
oh my God,
Oh,
that
I love
stinks.
you so much. Oh, I love you too. I mean, they just like the dialogue was terrible and the delivery was awful, and I just remember like sitting there as a fan going, "Stop it."
Well, it's just kind of funny if you think about how much Alec Guinness was actually in the Star Wars movies. He was maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe? So he wasn't really on, a ton, but his character's storyline was so influential in the original trilogy, that I think his character, visually is a bigger deal than, people make it to be a bigger deal, I guess what I'm trying to say.
And his relationship symbolically is also, part of what goes on there is how important he is to Luke Skywalker's journey. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm a fan, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I don't really care if they aren't going off the expanded universe canon or not.
Yeah.
As long as it fits within the story of the original trilogy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I agree.
Did anybody have a chance to watch the panel that they did, the hour-long panel from Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
One thing J.J. Abrams said in that was that basically the first 3 films are the canon, or the major canon. So,
Nice.
And then it's going to be a real continuation of what we left off with. So, and how many years passed? Does anybody know how many years? 30 years?
83 was when
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi came out.
No, like in the storyline, how long was the...
It's 30 years later.
30 years later?
Okay.
Huh, interesting. Yeah. Well, that's encouraging. Cool. All right, do we have another Geek and Tell volunteer?
Sure, I'll do it. I'll go ahead.
Thank you for not making me call on anybody, Rhonda. You make me feel like a teacher today.
Well, you may have to after this.
Yeah, I may have to.
But, I've been holding these off until I got them at Geek Girl Con, and I've been waiting until the next con came up so that I could wear them. But there is a
Ooh, shiny.
Oh, those are so cool.
I don't know whether you can see them very well or not, but they're very glittery. And they're just comic book themed. They are from Espionage Cosmetics, espionage.com, and they're just nail decals. There are several people out there that do it. I've been getting texts from different people, fans. You remember Palace, Regina?
I do remember Palace.
She sent me a text. She was following E3 very closely. She was texting me during the day. She was watching it at work. She was texting me at work. They just showed so-and-so. It was so cute. But she texted me, there's one company who's come out with a Borderlands 2 themed set of nail decals, and then there's also Kelly Sue DeConnick's comic book, Bitch Planet.
Oh, Bitch Planet, yeah.
And they've got some nail decals out. So these are fun to wear at a con. I haven't decided whether I'm going to wear it to my banking job tomorrow or not. I need to get taken off tonight. My conservative bank job.
Oh, you don't want to let your geek flag fly at work?
I really would have no problem. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. They're pretty good. They're in pretty good shape. I put them on, and it's the best way to do a con because then you don't have to worry about half your makeup.
Right. You can just have your geek
They're
showing.
fun.
Yes. Very cool. Those are very fun. All right. Sorry, I was a little distracted. I'm trying to get Isabella into the call here, and
Oh, cool. She's got perfect timing.
I know, right? I was just
she
thinking
does.
that.
Well, while you do that, I can
Got it.
mention that since we were talking about the Star Wars, we did a panel at the Congregate called fans' expectations of adaptations.
Mm.
Are you entitled, or you just think you're entitled? And it's an interesting conversation. I mean, I think the fans and the audience were fairly tame about how they react to this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because the types of fans we've got. Oh, I can partially see Isabella. There she is. I'm gonna quit boring my audience with all of them.
Hi.
Hey, Isabella, welcome.
She is.
Hey.
You've got perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, you have to show her your nails though, Rhonda, before we go on.
Oh yeah. So sorry, guys. Here we go again. I'm trying to.
There you go. Pull it back. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hang on a second.
Hey, that's a little bit clearer, yeah. Now
Yeah.
I can read them.
Yeah. Boom. Crash. Splat. Wham. Yeah.
Oh, those are awesome.
I got them at Geek Girl Con last year.
And she hid them from us because all three of us were there, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
she didn't tell us.
You didn't share your swag.
The vendor, everybody who was in the vendor
Yeah.
place. These have got Cthulhu on them. They're all tentacles.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they'll be fun.
Very
But
cool.
we've got Izzy to talk about The Walking Dead, or the
Yeah.
future of The Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, exactly. So we just came to the point, Isabella, where I had put Fear the Walking Dead trailer on our list of topics to discuss. So
Oh, perfect.
you can introduce that since that was your idea.
Yes. So Fear the Walking Dead is AMC's kind of miniseries to go along with The Walking Dead. It's kind of a prequel to, where the show is at after the
Mm-mm.
It's kind of like right at the beginning of where everything starts to go crazy and no one knows what's going on. And I think it's, well, did anyone watch the trailer?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that was the first trailer that I've seen that actually gave much of an idea of what's going on. So has anyone actually watched The Walking Dead right now?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think, Regina, you haven't watched it in a while, right?
I haven't. Yeah, I'm a season behind. I'm
Whose
looking
fault
forward
is
to it.
that?
Whose fault is that? AMC for not making it available on a streaming service?
Bingo.
Ooh.
Have you found your way to Terminus yet?
Yeah, that's where they ended. That's where the last part that I saw, they were in the train car at Terminus, and he said they messed with the wrong people. So, and I already know that Terminus. I already know about Terminus. I'll just say that.
Okay. Yes.
I figured that out from the context of them running through the camp. It's like, oh, I know what's going on.
What'd you say, Izzy?
Yeah, I think she's.
Oh
on.
no, my sound cut out for a while.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're
So-
you're lagging. I don't know if maybe your internet.
Sound like
is
Max
slow.
Headroom right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Isabella's channeling Max Headroom.
So what did everyone think about the trailer?
I'm digging it. I'm really excited just because I always like to see Fit hit the shan, so I'm really looking forward to see how it all goes down.
I'm pretty excited about it too. I actually got into the first season, but then suffered a little bit from what Rhonda was talking about with the expectations of adaptations. I had read the first 10 graphic novel trades and was really disappointed by the end of the first season. So I actually stopped watching that. So I've been looking for an opportunity to get excited about the series again, and I think this trailer, it looks pretty good, so I'm going to give this a try for sure, and then try to get right back into the show.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they're trying to basically capture lightning in a bottle again, because I think The Walking Dead is their biggest hit right now. And it's not like Mad Men where they didn't exactly have all the rights to it. The Walking Dead is basically their baby.
Mm-hmm.
And And I think this is a good way to, see if it works again. And it's only a mini-series, I'm pretty sure, because I don't know how long you'd be able to keep that going. Because we don't know the outcome.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, you know where the story's going, so it's interesting to see. I didn't know. I think it's interesting, and I don't know what you guys think, that it's different characters, different people.
I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way they could have done it, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great idea. It's just one of the things that the writers have done well is characterization, and if they'll just bring that on over to Fear, I think they'll still have an audience, because the audience just loves getting attached to characters. They like getting attached. That's kind of what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Their marketing is also just brilliant. Has everybody seen the still shot in the on the sand at the beach?
Oh, with the dragging leg.
Oh God, it's so brilliant. I sat there and looked at it for the longest time, and I was like, well, that's a weird shot to do for the show, and I got to thinking about what was going on, and then all of a sudden I just got all creeped out. I was like, that is so good. That is so good. Their marketing is that well thought out. It tells a complete story in that picture. It's really great.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it'll be interesting. I'm excited, like Isabella said, to see where the story's coming from.
Yeah, and to what you were talking to Sean too. I'm the same way. I read the graphic novels, and you get attached to those characters because when you read the graphic novel, and I understand that deviation, especially the last season that you saw, Regina. Well, no, the season you haven't seen. There's some things that happen in the graphic novel that I knew going into the Terminus season that scared me to death. Because I'm like, are they going to do what they did in the graphic novels? And I didn't know whether I wanted them to or not. Because I've really separated the two. To me, there are two different stories. But I think the writers were playing with us, Sean, in that Terminus season. I think they were playing with the people who had read the comics. They said, "We know what you know. We know what you think you know." And this is like,
well, and I was wondering too, as I was watching the trailer, how often it's gonna like flash to something like they come up to a scene and they were hitting a car crash and they were in a pickup truck, and I was like, I wonder if that's the stretch where the little girl went missing, and whatever season it was, the little girl went missing. And I thought it would be really interesting if they were able to kind of weave the stories together, but not overtly, but kind of covertly like that in the background, and the settings kind of set it up so you can kind of see flashes where the other storylines were.
Well, isn't Fear supposed to take place in L.A. though?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I got a question for Izzy, actually. You said it's going to be a mini-series. I thought it was going to be an actual series, or is it going to be a mini-series with an option to continue?
Okay, from what I heard a while back, it was going to be a mini-series, but I'm not sure if you should quote me on that. It may turn into something more a longer running.
I hope so.
If it really... if it becomes really popular, which I have no doubt it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is going to be a regular series because then I wouldn't have to wait 9 months to get my Walking Dead fix.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see.
True.
Right now they've got 6 episodes.
Yep, and it says it also says it's a companion series though. So.
Yeah.
And it's a pilot, or AMC greenlit the pilot to series on March 9th, 2015 with a 2-season commitment. So I think we're safe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's kind of confusing, but...
Awesome. Yay for the interwebs.
Yay for more zombies.
Yeah.
As if we don't have enough.
Right, well, exactly. That's
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is coming out soon.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a trailer for that when I went to the movies recently, and I was like, I haven't read the book, so I can't say, but
I read like one chapter of the book, and
It's a novelty.
yes,
yeah,
that's all.
it is. It is the thing right now. You know, we went through the vampires, and we kind of wore the vampires out when they became sparkly.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with that. Done with vampires for a while.
I think the zombies have kind of run their course too, but I think that the genre, for whatever reason, has some really good stuff in it
Mhm.
that's able to withstand, you know, the burnout phase.
Right. Well, I think Rhonda nailed that one with the observation that they're really good at characterization and character depth,
Right.
and so that helps a lot with making the zombies interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because it's not really about the zombies, is it?
No.
No.
They are what Alfred Hitchcock would call the MacGuffin, right? Everybody know what the MacGuffin is?
The thing that you think the story's about, but it really isn't about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the thing you think the story's about, but it's not really about. The Maltese Falcon is a perfect example. So, yeah. Cool. All right. So who's next for Geek and Tell?
I
can do mine.
Oh, see?
Oh,
We all were trying not to step on each other's toes, and then you guys make fun of us, and we all jump up and make fools of ourselves. Thanks a lot.
None of us are going to want to do it because now we're all embarrassed.
Yep.
Oh,
No, I'm not embarrassed, but Ryan can go. Let's have Ryan go.
okay.
I'm the only one that didn't say anything.
I know, and that's why you got chosen. So.
All right. Well, my geek and tell is I joined the world of wearables
Oh my God!
with my Apple Watch.
Doesn't look like much, man. It just looks like a black
Wow.
thing on your wrist.
Well, it's because I got to turn my wrist away that it doesn't bend here. I'll take it off so you can see. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
wow.
my goodness!
Ronnie,
So
you
how
look a
long have
little
you
green.
had it?
Yeah. How long have I had it?
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks now.
Oh wow!
I got to say right now, though, that anybody who knows Ryan, that's really not a surprise that he
Yeah, it really isn't. I'm an Apple fanatic, so it was only a matter of time, really, before I pressured myself into it.
pressure.
Do it. No.
More like willingly let yourself
Yeah.
have Apple have its way with you.
Fall into the cloud that is Apple.
Well, in all fairness, it's become a useful tool. I like it a lot. I didn't normally wear a watch, so I was a little afraid of that part. And where I work, my cell phone doesn't get reception, so I can actually put my phone in a spot where it does get reception, and then text and information will forward to my watch. So it's useful in that, but it's also, you think about how many times you pull your phone out of your pocket to look at the time, look and see who texted you, and then you usually just will put it back in. So it's nice to kind of do a flick of the wrist and see who it is, do a quick response if you need to, but continue on with what you're doing. So
It's very shiny.
it is very shiny.
Yeah.
Having seen it in person, I would say that too. So, yeah, very cool. Alrighty.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
right. I got about a week or two ago. I got my latest War Machine update, if you will, or expansion
Reckoning.
for the game rules, and have been flipping through that, and
Shiny.
it's pretty cool. It's got some good stuff in it. Really.
And for our viewers and people on the call, actually, who might not know, War Machine is a minis game.
That Regina has actually played.
That I have actually played, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's actually the reason why I know Mark and Ryan.
Yeah.
I do. I know them from that game. So.
She'll never forgive that game.
Look what it got me into. Gateway into these things.
But it also got you the sweet landing, so.
There's always the sweet landing, yes.
And that's an in-joke, people, that you will never understand.
So what's new in the update, Mark? Anything noteworthy?
They've continued on the story from the last expansion, for lack of a better term, where all the other factions in the game are trying to do away with my faction, who's managed to wedge itself into the Thornwood. So
No.
my faction is Cricks. They're the undead guys, and everybody else in the setting hates them. So
They're not
Yeah.
terribly popular, that's for sure.
yeah, so I have to watch, this unfold as they're trying to beat up on my guys, and I'm kind of unhappy with what the warcaster that they put in for my faction. They did another version of Denegra, and she has nothing to do with the other two versions of her that have previously come in the game. So not very happy about that. I mean,
Bummer.
she's cool as a caster, but her fluff piece in there doesn't explain how she made this huge change where she's not anything like she was in her previous incarnations. Whereas her sister, who is the poster girl for the game and for the main faction Signar, has like 3 pages worth of stuff about how she got to where she is, and a novella as well.
Mm.
Denegra's got 3 paragraphs, and then they don't explain anything. So,
Odd. Yeah.
all right, that's all
Cool.
I got.
All right. All right. Who do we have left for show and tell?
Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
Jerry.
So I've got something. It's Ryan had the new technology. I've got the old. So here's my old Rob.
Oh,
That's
nice.
amazing.
Awesome.
I wish it was complete, and I wish that whoever owned it before me didn't leave the batteries in it, because they are destroyed the poor battery connectors. But I love the way it looks. It's a great little set piece for my game room in here. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, your whole setting here, Jerry, is kind of geek and tell.
yeah, kinda. I can point out stuff later
Mm-hmm.
as we go along on these monthly hangouts. I'll just grab something else off the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cool. All right, Sean, what do you have for us?
Well, I am pretty excited because I have finally carved out a little bit of time here coming up. We've been just busy with all kinds of new house stuff. We got a house in February, but I'm setting aside time to get caught up on Thor.
Yes.
I am so excited because I still don't know who Thor is, and I think the reveal is right here. And somehow I've managed to avoid spoilers up until this point, and I'm so excited to finally figure it out. I'm really enjoying the series so far, and they do such a great job with that sort of old Shakespearean style speech that they do, and it's sort of being self-referential, sort of making fun of that. And it's the right kind of over the top, and it's just been so well done. So that's my geek and tell.
Awesome. I love it. I love the cover.
Is this like a beginning story of Thor?
This is currently Thor after the I can't remember the miniseries, but Thor was unable to lift his hammer, and it was up on the moon, and a mysterious woman appears and picks up Mjolnir and becomes Thor.
Oh.
And up until this point, we still don't know who she is. Well, I mean, you do if you're current with the comics and not like behind like me. But the nice thing that I appreciate is they're not saying this is she Thor, this is not Lady Thor. The characters who call her something like that in the comics, she's quick to correct them.
Nice.
She is Thor.
It's just Thor. Whoever holds the hammer is Thor. So.
Huh.
Yep.
Very cool.
Didn't know that.
Oh, come on, man! They made a big deal out of that on Age of Ultron.
Oh, well, I mean, they reference the humor of it all, but, I mean, there's so many backstories in comics that unless you've, been attached to them for life, then you just don't know what they are, and I haven't been.
Oh, because if you watch the first Thor movie, Odin throws the Mjolnir down to Earth, and before he does it, whispers, "Whoever is worthy can lift this hammer and become Thor."
All right, I bow down to you, Thor theologist.
No, you should know your Marvel movies, sir.
I didn't really like Thor, though. I forgot that part.
There you go. See? I don't feel so ashamed, I guess.
For me, the Thor movies are the weak link in the cinematic universe so far. I don't like Thor that much as a character compared to like Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow.
I agree
But-
with you that they are kind of the weak link. I still think that they're good movies, but I think they have one of the best acting pairs in all of the Marvel movies, which is Tom Hiddleston and Hemsworth. I think
Yeah.
those two play off each
That's
other
what
really
carries
well.
those movies. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, there was a big, there's a lot of talk about Thor becoming a woman on the internet, and I haven't read the comics, so.
That's very excellent. I recommend it if you
Yeah.
find the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of surprised when I was initially reading about it how some people were really resistant to the idea. And I remember reading a comment that said, "You guys do remember that at one point I think Thor was a frog." And there was less of an uproar about that as there was over her becoming a woman.
Being a woman, yeah. Interesting. Well, fun. Cool. All right, Izzy, I think you're last up for Geek and Tell.
Well, I don't actually have them they're in my car, but I have my skates.
Oh,
roller
yeah.
derby. So I started doing roller derby about the beginning of the month, and it's really tough. And I wish I could show you my skates, but they are in my car, and I'm not about to go get them.
So how long have you been doing it?
I've only been skating since the beginning of the month. That's when I joined the league.
So you joined the league, and that's when you learned to skate?
Yeah. Well, you don't actually start. You don't play in
Competing.
bouts or anything or competing until you get drafted onto a team. I'm what they call fresh meat right now.
Wow.
So yeah,
Anybody
I'm
who's
still
been to
learning.
a derby bout will know that they're kind of rough.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Is that what they normally call new prisoners in prison? Fresh
Yes.
meat?
And anybody who's met Izzy, she's like a little appetizer. She's Rumaki or something. Just this little tiny little thing.
I actually think that's going to be a strength for her in derby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be good. She's going to be quick. We're going to have
The
to be
roller
quick.
derby ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should. One of the traditions for derby is all the girls have derby names. So, any leads, Izzy?
Wait, sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Oh, on your derby name. Any leads on your derby name?
Nope, I haven't been able to think of one yet, but I do like your idea that it should be Legend of Korra related.
Yes, that's a meaningful thing for you. So I was thinking about what does she really like and what has she written about that I know she really likes, and that was the one that came to mind. So
there's just so many things. That's my problem.
Well, and through the process, also that name may be given to you too.
Yes, everyone tells me that that's a thing that might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that works out.
Yeah. Very cool. Fun. Excellent. All right. So where are we, guys? Are we wrapping?
We're wrapping.
We're wrapping. All right. So what's everybody watching? It's summer, so I know TV is a little thin, but movies can be big.
I've started watching Falling Skies, which was
Oh,
a
really?
show that, yeah, it was a show that I wanted to watch along when it first came out, but for whatever reason didn't get around to it. And the wife recently picked up Amazon Prime, and they have all of them on there. So I started watching the first season. I think it was last week or the week before, over the weekend. Probably got about halfway through the season. So looking forward to watching more of it.
Cool. Yeah, my friend Julie has recommended that to me. I still haven't watched it yet, though. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm binge watching X-Files.
Huh?
I like that because I was kind of doing the same thing for a while.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the reboot, are you? Or I guess the continuation?
Yeah.
I did get tingles when they showed that very, very tiny bit of new footage after that trailer. It was like, whoa. And I'm not the hugest X-Files fan either. My wife grew up with it, but I've watched quite a bit of it since we've been together and gotten into it quite a bit. And just seeing that little bit of new footage, it gave me tingles, and I was like, I just hope that this turns out well.
Yeah.
Well, it's still done by Chris Carter, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it'll turn out just fine.
They've got Chris Carter. They have several of the same producers. They have some of the same camera people, art directors. These people were very excited to come back and do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a problem.
Rhonda wrote a piece on it on the site too. Anybody
Yeah,
wants to check out Rhonda's article about it, you can go see what she had to say. It's
You
kind of
watching anything, Ryan? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, yes, I've been binge watching Mad Men because I hadn't seen it before. So,
Ooh, what do you think?
different time, that's for sure. But great characters. I think everybody in it has great roles. I love the actors that are playing the different characters. I just finished we watched the last episode of the second season this morning. Candace actually got me started on it. So while she was out of town, she goes, "You need to catch up. That's your homework." So it's a good show. Good writing. I'm excited to see where it goes after the second season. So.
Yeah, those first couple of seasons are really fun with how they weave in the history.
Oh, his backstory.
Yeah. Interesting. It's fun.
Are we talking movies at all, or?
Oh yeah, you can talk movies, absolutely.
Oh, In and Out or Inside Out.
Inside
awesome
Out.
Pixar movie. Pixar has definitely made a comeback with their movies, and I thought Jurassic World was also very good. So.
Cool. Good.
Yes.
I was
Lots
not
of silence.
Yeah, we talked about.
Everybody ponder that for a second.
I want to see Inside Out, but I haven't seen it. But I wasn't that taken with Jurassic World, so. But we talked about that too. What was I watching? Oh, I've been watching Pretty Little Liars, so. It's just terrible. Don't watch it.
What do I do with you?
I find it very telling that ABC Family airs a show called Pretty Little Liars. I think that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
It is based on a book series, mind, but
It is. It is. Which is, I think, how I got wrapped into it. I was looking at, series that were based on young adult fiction, and I was like, oh, I'll check this out, and I got wrapped in, and I had given it up, but then I went to visit Chris's mom, and she was literally on the episode where I had left off when I decided I was going to stop watching it, and then I got hooked back into it again. And, oh, it's awful. It's so bad, and I'm watching it, and I know it's bad. I mean, the acting's bad.
So car accidents, but you can't help but look.
Yeah, you know what you need to do, Regina? Go back and watch all the Archer that you never watched.
Oh, yeah, Archer.
That's true.
Yeah, that's much better TV.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of much better TV then.
I gave Pretty Little Liars a shot, and I couldn't. It was like a bad soap opera.
It is.
And I used to watch soap operas all the time when I was younger.
At least
I couldn't do it.
I would say that we're all allowed one of those, free pass shows, right?
Yeah, Regina used that up a long time ago.
Some of us might be allowed several.
Yeah, well, some of mine are seasonal though, so they don't run all year. Thinking of Dancing with the Stars, which I'll still watch. So.
What are you watching, Isabella?
I just finished watching Netflix's series Sense8. Has anyone seen anything about that?
No, but I've
recommended.
heard some good things. Yeah.
It's oh my god, I really wasn't. Well, when I first started watching, I was like, this is a completely crazy concept. It's about like 8 people who are telepathically linked, so they can kind of experience what other people in it's called a cluster, are experiencing, and they all have these different skills that can help each other through all these difficulties that they're facing. Because of course there's some big conspiracy going on in the background, but it's really interesting, and I got so hooked into it after the first 2 episodes that I just went and binged all of it. it's really good. And I'm kind of sad because Netflix hasn't said if they're renewing it for a second season or not, which, you know, bums me out because, of course, they left the story off at a really interesting place at the season's end. So,
Well, Netflix is pretty smart. They know streamers, and if they'll wait and let the summer people binge watch it, I think they'll find they have an audience.
Yeah, that's probably true. And they are really good about understanding their audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, Mark, what are you watching?
I already said I was watching Falling Skies.
Oh yeah, was that you?
Uh-huh.
Well, what's Ryan watching?
I already said mine. I was doing Mad Men.
Mad Men, that's right.
But I've also
haven't
been watching Breaking Bad.
Jerry.
My wife and I just got done watching a PBS special called First Peoples, which was very interesting. We both have anthropology backgrounds, and that was basically like a love letter to us in terms of like all these archaeologists and anthropologists talking about like the people that came before us and how modern people interacted with ancient peoples all over the world. It was really well done, really fascinating,
Cool.
culturally sensitive, all that nice stuff that anthropologists like. So,
Nice.
really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Well, that makes me feel even guiltier about my vapid TV watching.
Just do what I do. Watch Nova.
Oh, Jerry, I wish we had you go first.
Well, I've also been watching BattleBots and American Ninja Warrior, so...
There you go. Okay, I'm a little better now.
What about
All
you,
right.
Sean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was during our last hangout. Rhonda, I think you mentioned The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And
Yeah.
fell in love with that show, watched it all. I mean, anything Tina Fey does, I'm a big fan of. But we watched it all within about 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was really excellent. So hopefully we're going to see a lot more of that. And I just recently branched out into another Netflix original. Started watching Knights of Sidonia. I'm only 3 or 4 episodes into that right now. It's an anime that Netflix funded to bring over, and they put it all on Netflix. They just brought out the 2nd season. It's a bit of a Robotech meets Attack on Titan situation. Giant spaceship out in space. You know, all the remaining humans are on board this spaceship, and there are these giant space monsters that sometimes take on the traits of humans. So they'll have a face sometimes, or arms, and other times they're just masses of tentacles. I'm a little disappointed with some of the female characters so far. It seems like, although there are male and female giant robot pilots, there have already been 2 situations where the female character is in trouble or gets too emotional and causes people to get killed. Although it is interesting they have a 3rd gender in the show, a non-specific gender that, based on who that person picks to mate with, their body will change and adapt to become the opposing gender. So, yeah. So I'm gonna give it another. I'm gonna keep going with it. Hopefully, the female characters aren't as weak moving forward. But it's been entertaining so far.
Cool. Very cool.
I have to remember that one.
Yeah.
Is that an anime? It sounds
Yes,
like
it
it
is.
is. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Giant robots in space, lots of tentacles.
Yeah.
Anime equals lots of tentacles. Cool. All right. So, what about summer reading? What are people reading this summer?
I'll go first.
Okay. Thank you.
I read this.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, you can't give me a hard time. I came to the last one after having read 8 books in a week. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very
And
true.
I am planning on reading Horns sometime here in the near future and rereading The Martian. So.
Cool. Very
So
cool.
what did you just hold up? You held up.
My
Okay.
my War Machine show and
Yeah.
tell.
Okay.
The same thing that he used for his Geek and Tell. Yeah. Cool. I haven't quite started reading anything new, I'm still in that young adult book that I was reading because I got kind of this is embarrassing, but my Kindle ran out of battery power and I haven't found my charge cord for it, so I haven't gotten back to it, which I find really kind of ironic. But Amy, who's a fan of the show, who was listening to the most recent live episodes, sent me a message and she told me about an app that I had never heard of before called Overdrive. Overdrive.
No.
Overdrive is a lending library. It links to your library, and you can borrow ebooks and audiobooks and all kinds of different things and have them on your phone or your Kindle or your electronic reader, whatever you use. Of course, it's like a library, so I am, see if I can pull my wait list up here. Currently on the wait list for, oh, I can't, it's not logged in right now. I'm currently on the wait list for Ready Player One on audiobook.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thanks to Ryan's reminder that I need to go check that out. And The Martian, so on audiobook. And also The Golden Compass, which is one of those things I've always wanted to read, but I haven't.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I have.
That's my absolute favorite when I was young.
Yeah, I haven't.
I read The Golden Compass recently.
Yeah.
I've been get to the other two books.
Cool. Well,
When you were young.
I don't want to tell you how young I was because it's just going to make it worse.
That's awesome. But I recommend it. It's a great app. You can link it to your local library. You just need a library card and to log in, and you can access their electronic database through that and check things out. And like I said, put things on hold, which is really cool. And cuts down on your
What's it called
expenses.
again?
Overdrive. Let's see if I can get the. You can't really see the icon for it. It's an O and a blue background.
Okay.
So it's available for free on the App Store.
I've actually used it.
Have you?
I've checked out. I'm listening to the audiobook for the second the second Game of Thrones book. Storm of Crows, I think. Yeah. It's just going to take me quite a while to get through because it's about 31. It's like 31 hours long or something.
Yeah.
Insane like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I contemplated looking those up for audio, but at this point I'm not really interested in knowing the books. I'm just going to stick with the TV show.
I will tell you that I actually spent 48 hours on a train once trying to listen to the first one on audiobook and still didn't finish it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I listened to the first one a long time ago, but it was on an actual CD, so it was this huge
stash.
A stack of CDs.
Yeah.
Had to have a whole CD wallet just to carry the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are some long-winded books. Good. So, other summer reading?
Well, I'm currently going through Ready Player One. I bought the hard copy for my oldest daughter, and she tore through it in 2 days, so now she knows the ending before I do.
Oops.
I know, right? But I would highly recommend it. Anybody that grew up anywhere near the 80s and loves video games and geek culture is a great, great story that is very deep into those areas.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I know the audiobook is narrated by Will Wheaton, so
Yeah.
I can have a little fangirl moment over
Regina
that.
can put on her fan Will Wheaton t-shirt. I love Will Wheaton t-shirt.
I never did buy, but they did have I Crush on Wesley Crusher t-shirt
Oh, nice.
at her universe. So, good. Any other reading selections?
I am currently, and I probably will be for quite a while, reading the Wheel of Time series. My wife got me started on that. And thankfully I don't have to go through a stack of books like this tall because I've got them all on my Nook.
Nice.
So that's nice. I can just pick it up, read it there in bed. My wife actually got me a Nook because I kept dropping books and hitting my chin. Because I'd bring big hardcover tomes to bed. Yeah, they look cool, but they're not easy to read. I also just made a deal with my wife. We were talking about Star Wars last night and Harry Potter. We had a friend over and we were all just chatting about this stuff. And both of them were the same age as Harry Potter was as each book came out.
Oh, wow.
So they relate to Harry Potter much more so than I do. And I've seen all the films and I love them all, but I've only read the first 2 books. I wanted the 2 of them to watch the original Star Wars trilogy with me because they've only seen parts of them. They've never seen them all. So I've committed to actually reading the Harry Potter books in exchange for them actually taking the time to watching the original 3 movies. So.
Well, you won't be disappointed. They're great books.
Well, I've enjoyed the movies, and I've heard that there's a lot more to learn from the books, so I am looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh my God, they only scratch the surface in the movies, and the movies are enjoyable. But kind of like Rhonda said, I take them separate from the books. But they do a okay job. But you'll get so much more out of the books. And you stopped right before my favorite. My favorite is the 3rd book. So.
Fourth one's the best.
4th, yeah, I like the 3rd one.
Goblet of Fire is awesome.
I like Goblet of Fire too, but my heart belongs to The Prisoner of Azkaban.
It's a good book. I mean, they're all good, but
yeah.
Sean, what was the first book series you said you were reading?
The Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan.
Oh, The Wheel of Time. Okay. I thought you said the real books. I was like, oh, that's a bad title.
Not the digital books, the real books.
The real books.
I've already established I'm not responsible enough to bring real books to bed, so.
Isn't the Wheel of Time series, doesn't it have like 10 books or 20 books or something?
It's up to 14 or 15 now,
yeah,
I think.
13 or 14. And
where are you at?
2.
All right. Good luck. Fight the good fight, sir. Fight the good fight.
So, Jerry, did you share what you were reading?
No, I haven't yet. I am a geek in 2 things. I am a geek in games, and I am a geek in classic books. So I am currently reading a reproduction of the original Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman.
Oh, wow.
Which is a really pretty book.
It looks gorgeous.
I read Whitman in college. I really liked what he had to say, so I'm wanting to read more than just the 1 poem I read in that class and the few I've read in the years since then.
Yeah.
And more nerdy type of stuff. I reread 16 or 18 volumes of the Rurouni Kenshin manga while I've been waiting to get a job. So that was a good revisit. It's still incredibly well drawn. The plot's very interesting for a shonen manga, and I just really like the characters. So,
cool.
That's what I've been reading.
I would hope too, with 16 or 18 volumes, that you really like the character.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got another 10 to go, so.
Wow. Wow, awesome. All right, Rhonda, what are you reading?
I just finished, let's see if I can, I don't know whether digital shows up or not.
Oh, yeah, looks good.
90 Church. It's been really weird. I've been reading nonfiction. I don't know how
you were
happened.
doing that last time too, and I was like, I think this is the first time in 3 years you've talked about reading nonfiction.
Yeah, 90 Church, it's the inside story of America's notorious first narcotics squad by Agent Dean Unkeffer. And in New York, around 1968, they were fighting a huge drug war with the influx of heroin and cocaine into the country. And this was, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics was the most feared organization fighting crime at the time. The street gangs, the mafia, everybody said, look, you can handle anything, but if 90 Church if you get on their radar, they said just forget it, you're a dead man. That's how incredibly brutal 90 Church was. They really dealt with absolutely no rules in fighting narcotics, and it's just this agent's memoirs of his time there.
Interesting.
Shocking in 1968.
Yeah.
Very, very amazing.
Cool.
He lays it all out because I'm definitely not a fan of his. I admire what he did, but
Oh, that's interesting.
in the end, I mean, unfortunately, you've got to have people that will do certain things. But in my book, he's an asshole. But
Hmm.
that nice guys, Captain America would not make it on this squad. Yep.
Cool.
Very interesting.
All
Is there
right.
anybody else?
I think we got everybody.
Izzy, what are you reading?
Storm of Crows. Second
Oh, yeah.
Game of Thrones book, yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm being abducted by aliens spontaneously off and on through this show, so I just read some stuff.
It's
I
the
just-
lack of coffee.
Yeah,
Yes.
3-day lack of coffee.
Yes. I think your caffeine withdrawal is
Reading and playing.
good. A good.
For playing, is anybody able to play games this summer?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'll go first again.
Go for it, Mark.
Go.
I've actually had a windfall of update patches on games for the last, I don't know, 10 days or so. So Terraria came up with a new big content patch, which has been a lot of fun. Ryan and I have been playing 7 Days to Die, which came out with a new update patch. I think it was the weekend of July 4th. We've been playing that pretty solid for about a week. And yesterday, I believe it was Path of Exile's expansion they put out. So I started playing that, or was that Thursday? I don't remember exactly, but I've been playing that on and off for a couple of days as well. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool. That's a lot of expansioning.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding.
Yes.
I already
Sean, you
mentioned-
play anything? Oh, you did?
I mentioned that I was playing Luigi's Mansion.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
love
right.
it so much.
That's pretty much it. And then my phone games, which I'm quitting. I swear.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah, sure you are.
Did Izzy see your toy?
She saw it in person.
Oh,
She
okay.
saw it in
Oh,
person.
yeah,
She was
her
here.
3DS.
Yeah, my 3DS. Yeah,
pretty
and
sweet.
she's actually the reason why I'm wearing. The reason why I'm playing Luigi's Mansion because she recommended it. So.
Yeah, I was thinking of replaying that actually because I'm not making much progress on my. I don't know how you can see that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Majora's Mask on 3DS. Because I
It's-
swear one of these days I'm going to finish it.
It's a time suck, that game. I just got done playing it a couple months ago myself.
Yeah, I never managed to finish it on my Nintendo 64, so I thought, why not try the 3DS, see if it works.
It's a little better. It controls a little better. Certainly looks better.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
Well, I've just finished up the new, I believe it's just a community mod for Portal 2 called Portal Stories Mel. It's a completely different storyline. For people who have played the Portal games, if you enjoyed them, you really can't miss this mod. It's
Did
free
you-
on Steam.
Did you see Rhonda's face? I mean, did you see her face when you said
I'm
that?
so excited.
I did
Like-
not. I did
Oh
not.
yeah, she's very excited.
It's a ton of fun. It's way more challenging than any of the puzzles in the previous Portal games. I actually had to look up a couple of them to get through the game, but it was a ton of fun. And just the fact that it's something of that caliber is coming out from just a few
Player
fans of the game,
Mhm.
creating it, putting it out there for free. So again, Portal Stories Mel, check it out if you have a chance. And I'm also picking through my Steam backlog, so I'm now playing through Metro Last Light, and I'm a big fan of that. But every time I play it, I feel like shouldn't I just be playing Half-Life 3 by now?
Cool.
They're making too much money off of Steam to be bothered to develop any more games, I think.
It sure seems like it.
What did you play the Portal game on? What platform?
I play almost all my games on PC.
Okay.
So,
Amen, brother. Amen.
although I'm a big fan of Smash 4, I've been playing a lot of that too. So.
Cool. Yep, that's on my list of things to get for the DS now that I haven't, or Smash Brothers something or other.
It's Smash Brothers for 3DS. Really easy to remember.
Yeah.
They made it easy.
Cool. All right.
Well, I've
Go
gone
ahead.
back to playing Candy Crush.
I'm sorry.
I went away for a long, long time because I
I'm
got
so
stuck
sorry.
on 117, and then I got past it. And as long as I can get past the level, I'll play it again until I get stuck again for a week, and then I'll ditch it. I never spend money on it, so that's how I continue enjoying it. And this weekend at the con, I learned to play Pandemic Contagion.
Oh, is that the new version of it? Like the new game?
I think so. It's a brand new game. It's completely separate. It's not an expansion.
It's not an expansion, yeah, that's right.
And it's a competitive game.
Mm.
So it is. Has anybody played the app Virus Inc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like that. You are a virus, and you've got
You're trying
different
to kill people.
abilities, and you're trying to infect countries as quickly as possible. And the more your infection spreads, the higher your score. And it was fun.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I played Pandemic for the 4th of July.
Ah,
Actually,
excellent.
Izzy was here. Izzy was here
Yeah.
playing. Yeah. And we died. And
Again.
we did
And
not
we-
save the human race. The
Uh,
viruses won.
we played Borderlands expansions, Borderlands 2 expansions on 4th of July.
Nice.
That was very American.
Yeah.
America.
Where are you playing, Ryan?
A lot of things on mobile platform. Playing a game called Goddess, which
yeah,
is
you
kind
told
of
me
if anybody remembers the game Populous,
Mm-hmm.
it's very much like that.
Is it the same guy?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think
He's
it's the
working
same
on
studio.
Goddess, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think
Okay.
he's done this one.
I mean, it's got a similar flavor to that game. So it's just a free-to-play. I mean, you can, of course, throw money at it, but I haven't yet. So I've been playing that on PS4. I've been playing MLK The Show, yeah, something. I don't know. Baseball game, The Show. MLB The Show, that's what it's called. And PC, doing 7 Days to Die with Mark. Also been kind of messing around with GTA 5 a little bit, The Sims 4 a little bit, and I downloaded Arkham Knight yesterday.
Not
Oh.
on PC, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on PC. Yeah, well, it came free with my graphics card. So
Okay, well, at least you got it for free.
what's wrong with it?
The PC one has had a lot of problems.
Oh.
They hired a crew of 12 people who had never done a PC port to do a PC port. And it's turned out to be pretty awful.
Yeah, they
You got it
stopped
for free.
selling it, right?
Yeah.
No, they
For a
actually
while,
pulled it from the market, actually. Like a week or so after they released it.
Wow.
It's all stuff that they can hopefully fix. But
Ryan's like,
I
I was gonna play Batman.
thought I had a Batman game to play.
Now I'm just gonna play Batman angrily.
Yeah.
there's no other way to play Batman.
Yeah.
Well, if you rage quit, Ryan, you'll know why.
The way I look at it is I didn't pay for it, so
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a winner.
yeah.
Did you play any of the other ones, Ryan?
I did not. I mean, I've seen footage. I've seen other people play them on Twitch and stuff. It's a very beautiful game, so I was excited for that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Arkham
Asylum and Arkham City, I mean, they're fantastic games.
they are.
I think some of the best superhero games out as far as experiential. There was at one point where all I did was try to figure out how to climb to the absolute highest structure they had in the game, so I could jump off of it and fly. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
I think I did the same thing.
Yeah, I'm Batman. That's great.
On that same vein, has anybody seen the new trailer for Batman vs Superman?
Is there like a new one? That came
Yeah,
out?
It's a new one.
yeah. There's one they released at Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there
How
is?
is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sold yet. 'Cause I
I'm
didn't
sold.
really enjoy the last Superman movie. I mean, it was okay, but there was way too much destruction at the end
Oh.
for no reason. But
Yeah.
the Batman versus Superman, I don't know. It's just different. It's not something I'm used to as far as that story arc goes. So
It was one of my favorite graphic novels when I was reading comic books off and on in the 80s, and I wasn't too sure about it either, but when I saw the teaser and you hear the part where you have Batman in the big exo suit looking up at Superman and you hear him go, "Can you bleed?" I was like, oh yes, I want to see Superman bleed. I hate that guy.
That's awesome. Hey, Rhonda, can you hold up that, was it Entertainment Weekly you had up? I saw briefly.
Yeah, that's this week. And they were talking a lot about it because they put Wonder Woman in the front
Yeah.
and the guys are in the back.
Good.
And there
do we
was
know how big her story is in that?
not big.
No, I don't. I think it's not a very big part at all.
No. But I mean, they're definitely setting it up though to do the film to lead into introducing her in the film.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the teaser before they give her her first movie.
Yeah.
A la Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Worked wow, so well for Black Widow so far.
Yeah, when is she going to get her movie? Good. Damn it.
She's in everybody else's movie.
No, she needs her own. She's awesome.
Oh,
That's nice. That was good.
Hopefully she gets her.
I'm
deal.
excited to go to the film only to see how they handle Wonder Woman. I don't care anything much about mashups with Batman and Superman and everybody thrown in there together and stuff like that. But Wonder Woman looks good. I think they've done a good design.
I agree.
And I think they've cast someone that the audience is going to be able to identify with. So we'll just see how they write her.
Yeah, that's going to be the telling.
Mhm.
The telling, but it always is, isn't
It'll be
it?
fun.
Always goes back to the writing.
Yeah, and there's two superheroes are just they're huge. I mean, they're huge. That I mean, every network channel, everybody's got some sort of superhero show coming out. Supergirl's coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got what is it? Legends on CW, and which looks really
CW
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of crazy with superhero shows, actually. I've kind of lost track of how many they've got running.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot. It's the thing capitalized. That and zombies still. Maybe it's coming up instead.
Yep.
Zombies are starting to kind of wane off, and
Is it
Well, we have
also...
to have a superheroes versus zombies episode, and then
Well,
Oh.
Marvel did a whole series on that. That would be
Sure.
awesome. Hey, aren't they also rebooting Heroes or doing
Yes.
this sort of?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they're rebooting Heroes.
I'm not even allowing that to be on my radar. It got so bad at the end, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
I was
Yeah,
never a fan of
I
it.
have no interest really.
Yeah, those characters just went nowhere.
Yeah, I was thinking this was a zombie show, but it's not. It's a vampire. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah, from the movie by Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Show's pretty good.
I haven't watched it yet. It's in my Netflix queue.
Oh, all the things in my Netflix queue.
And is anybody excited for Amazon Prime Day?
I'm a little excited about that.
I don't know. Every time I try and buy something off of our Amazon Prime now, it's like, this isn't really an Amazon thing, so you don't really get the Prime shipping. It's like,
No.
What are you trying to buy?
Yeah.
I don't know. My latest thing was a dinosaur tooth I was trying to buy.
Oh, I'm shocked.
They don't stock that
Shocked, I
regularly?
tell you. I can't believe you can't get 2-day shipping on that.
I'm just saying, like, all my hobby stuff and all that stuff, none of it's available through Amazon, so I don't get Amazon 2-day shipping on it. So.
Just because you've been playing Ark.
Hmm? No, it's because I actually watched a episode of Nova where they were talking about Spinosaurus, and apparently in Morocco where they find this thing that you can dig up. They're allowed to dig up, any teeth that they find, and they can actually sell them.
Yeah.
It's not against the law. If they find a complete skeleton or something like that, then they actually have to bring the get the government involved and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I would like a Spinosaurus too. I like dinosaurs.
Cool.
Yeah.
And no, it's not. It's not because of Arcane, because I'm really not all that in love with that game.
How long do we go to, Regina? I'm trying to figure out how many rabbits
We
to
usually
chase.
do about 3:30, so yeah, so or 6:30 your time. So we should be wrapping up about right now.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I shouldn't bring up Shark Week.
You maybe save it for next time.
No, that's okay. The only reason I even ended up seeing it is because the TV in the hotel didn't have anything good on except Shark Week, and that was it.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh well, this has been our July hangout, and I wanted to thank everybody. Wow, I love having everybody this week.
I know.
This was great. This was great this week, this month on the show. So, for those of you watching, this is also available on our podcast feed as an episode as well. So please leave us a comment, and we'd love to hear from you guys, what you think of our live shows and what you'd like us to talk about. So check us out, GameOnGirl.com. And until next time,
Game
Later,
on!
everybody.
Game on.
Game on.
Come on.